That works.
Did it? Neat. Of course, it gives me a lovely Twitch ad because it's just great.
Yeah.
I know that they're probably going to make me like pay to get rid of that, but I'm just like, no.
But if you have Amazon Prime, you can just link up Twitch Prime and skip it.
I do not have that. I probably never will.
Nah, fair enough. Then yes.
Oh my god, they're seriously making a Slender Man movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started making it when Slender Man was even slightly relevant, and then
Oh, get the out of here.
yeah, like all Hollywood adaptations of popular content, it's coming out.
See, I don't even know why that was.
Cares.
I don't even know. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I mean, to be fair, I won't deny it was popular. I mean, it was kind of like the trendsetter for the whole creepypasta jump scare crap that they do nowadays. But ever since then, it's okay. There we go. Whatever. Let's. I'll pop the link in general chat as well because why not? Boom, boom, boom.
Cool.
So, well, since we're here, we might as well get. We might as well start this train rolling.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Cole. This is Generation 1 Pokemon Red. You may have seen it before. If not, then you probably weren't born in 1999. Joining me at the moment is Teapot. Say hi.
Hi.
He doesn't have. I don't have to tell him to say hi. We don't have anyone else with us yet, but that's fine because you know it's Gen 1, and Gen 1's such a great game it can stand on its own merits.
We don't even need to talk over it.
No, we don't. We can say whatever we want. And it's fine, really. Also, just for the record, if I am coming through a bit quiet, please tell me, and I'll try and sort that out because I did have some. I'm aware that I had audio issues last time, and I'm still trying to remember the menu
Yeah,
controls.
you're a little bit quiet.
A little bit quiet.
Yeah, maybe sort of bump your mic up a little bit.
It better not be on max because I'm going to be so annoyed. It is actually on max. What the fuck? Sorry, you know what? I'm just going to talk louder. There. We'll talk louder. How's that? Do I sound fine now? Sorry, you know what? I'm just going to talk louder. There. We'll talk louder.
Yeah, that works.
Cool. Right. So this is going to be Loud Generation 1 because this game isn't loud enough apparently. With its ridiculous 8-bit music, which, oh, I mean, I'm sorry, it's amazing 8-bit music. It's a classic soundtrack. I mean, to be fair, it kind of is a classic soundtrack when you think about it, I guess. So yeah, last time we played this game, we beat Brock. We also glitched past him because he's an asshole. There goes the swear jar already in play because it wouldn't be a Cole stream without a swear jar. Let's be honest.
That's true.
I'm just going to turn off the echo in the background because he's starting to get on my nerves now. There we go, done. Right, so we're going to power up John Cena. He's going to be kind of crucial at this point in the game. Let's use Leah first, whatever. He's kind of under-leveled at the moment, but it's not really too much of an issue. Because we can level him up. I don't know why I'm trying to fill dead air, to be honest with you, because... whatever.
It's alright.
Yeah, this is just going to be me for... Holy... Good grief.
Wow.
Right, he will actually KO me, I think, if he's doing another one of those. But you know what? I like living on the edge. Let's do it. Oh, you got a crit, that's why. You cheeky rat.
Yeah.
But you know, it's fine, because we're John Cena, we're the champ.
Just got a crit in return, which you definitely needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to get it there when it doesn't really matter than to get it later on where it might actually make a bit of a difference. Now, there's going to be... I don't know if anybody's tuned in just yet, but...
Yeah.
I'm going to be... I'm a little bit torn at the moment as to who to use for my third Pokemon. Between Zubat and Ekans. Both of them are eligible, being poison types. So I'm not really sure, so I guess I'll let other people decide which one they'd rather see. Would you rather see Golbat take the game on a bit later on, or would you rather see Arbok be the one to play the game? I'll let you decide.
Let us know in the chat.
Yeah. And his Wrap. Speaking of Ekans, he has Wrap, and Wrap is a great move because you can't attack whilst it's happening to you. Which means that if you're faster than your opponent and you've got Wrap, then you pretty much automatically win unless you miss. Such is the great design that was put into Generation 1. They really thought it out well. And make no mistake about it, if we do end up using Ekans or Arbok in this run, we will be abusing that maliciously. After all, I am a heel, and heels always cheat to win. Right, I'm going to go back and heal John Cena because he's the one who needs the levels here more than anybody else.
Yeah, makes sense.
He is a bit underleveled, and he's gonna be kind of crucial to this run, to be honest with you, because we do get Nidoking very, very early in this, and he kind of breaks the game just a little bit.
Yeah, I found that. I've used it casually, and
he just kind of casually wins the game for you, and you don't really need to do anything about it. It's pretty great. Which kind of defeats the purpose of me making this run harder for myself by only picking poison types, considering
I think you'd find a way to break the game with any what's the word?
No, I don't care. Like, I just glitch the game and make myself win no matter what, you know.
Do the memory overflow trick and just warp yourself to the Hall of Fame.
Pretty much. Spoiler alert. That might happen at some. I mean, I've already said like pretty much there is going to be. I'm going to do like a little glitch exhibition once I've beaten the game, just to show off a few more of the a few of the more game-breaking glitches that this game has, of which it has many, to say the least.
It's easier to list the ones that aren't game-breaking, I think.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, to be fair, the box skip is. I don't know. I mean, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's game breaking per se. Considering you have to beat Brock. Well, it doesn't. You still would with that glitch alone. You still have to beat Brock anyway. So you're gonna have to go back there at some point. And to be honest with you, Brock isn't that hard to beat unless you just absolutely suck. And I know I might have ruined somebody's childhood there. Like, I was only a kid. Well, yeah, you were terrible at this game when you were a kid as well, and all. Stop being so sensitive about it. I was terrible at this game when I was a kid, so whatever. I'll admit it. I don't care.
No, so was I, definitely.
I mean, to be fair, all the kids at school were crap at this game when I was there. I mean, there was even one kid who like, and this is kind of a sign of the times, really, is when you could get made fun of at school for using your Master Ball on a Golbat. Not so much that you play Pokemon at all, that you specifically did that act in a Pokemon game and thought that it was acceptable. And then everyone was like, oh, Pokemon's for kids and children, and it's like, yeah, but you are a kid. Get over it. You're like, what, 13 years old? You ain't an adult yet.
Simpler times, eh?
Simpler times, yeah. Teenagers, hormones, get out of here. It is kind of funny in hindsight, all the stuff that kids would do to try and be cool back then. And now I just kind of look back at it.
To be honest, have you seen dabbing? They still do really silly stuff to seem cool.
See, to be honest with you, I don't mind dabbing because you can at least do dabbing ironically. You know, and
yes, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. I mean, to be fair, like I would. I wouldn't even care. But you know. What I'm talking about is like, because I mean, when I was to go on a slightly, you know, nowadays touchy subjects. Back when I was a kid, calling people gay was an insult, and I went to an all-boys school, so you can imagine that was rampant. If they thought you were homosexual in an all-boys school, well, you were gonna have a bad time at that era. Nowadays, it probably ain't so bad. Well. It's probably still pretty bad because the world sucks, but you know, it's not going to be as bad. You know, you're going to be thanks to Tumblr and all them places. You know, homophobic slurs are not on in this day and age.
Yes, thanks to the horrible things such as it's called acceptance of homosexual people.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that it's more globally accepted. I mean, you know, each to their own. That's the way I see it. But you know, back then it was a darker age. You know.
Yes, yes, it was.
John Cena's really taking lots of crits right now. I'm not happy about this. Luckily, John Cena's leveling up. I'm gonna have to go back and heal him again, aren't I?
Yeah. Hi, Stel.
You.
Well, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'll do that. I'm gonna save the game first, because reasons. But I'll do that. I mean, I'll be honest though. I mean, it was as I say, I went to an all boys school. Like, you know full well that half of them were in the closet. You know, that's the way it is. They're like, oh, you're gay. It's like, yeah, you blatantly are as well, because you're the one who's accusing everybody else. That closet is made of glass, son. You ain't hiding anything from anybody. So, yeah, this part of the game is going to be fairly dull and uninteresting, because it's literally going to be me grinding back and forth. All over these trainers. Yeah, I went there. I don't even care. This is a PG stream.
Is it?
Well, not with me around it, isn't it? Never is. Let's be honest.
Let's face it, the PG is just shorthand for a ping Gus.
It really is. And welcome to the stream, Stal. I don't know if you were here for the discussion. We are waiting for a vote, basically, on what my next Pokemon is going to be. Out of Ekans or Zubat, what should I use?
Honestly, I'm not really sure in Generation 1.
Well, put it this way. Zubat's immune to ground, which is going to be helpful. Ekans gets Wrap, which is broken to all hell. So I'll let you decide.
I mean, basically, it's do you want to cheese the game, or do you just want to laugh at
God damn, why am I getting crit so much?
Evidently because birds.
I don't know, it was a rat earlier, and then it was Nidoran, I think, crit me as well. I'm getting crit by myself. You crit me again. You watch what happens, yeah, that's right. Get out of here.
They are all honorary birds, I guess.
Yeah, your shorts are comfy and easy to wear. Not anymore.
Everything's a... Is every stream going to have a John Cena now?
I don't know. Well, I think the idea of this one is since Bulbasaur was named after a wrestler as well. I think all of my Pokemon are gonna be nicknamed after wrestlers. So
that makes sense.
Like Bulbasaur is named Rusev Day because every day is Rusev Day on Pokecharms.com.
I think last time I played through Generation 1, I've had a Bulbasaur I've named Robert, and it was just kind of taking everything down like a Led Zeppelin.
I like it. I don't know if our Bulbasaur will be as effective as that. I mean, he has been so far. Up to this point, he has been very effective and useful to me. Right now, it's John Cena who I keep needing to go back to the Poké Center to heal. So you know.
Yeah, well, Nidos take a while to get awesome, but when they do, holy zuck.
Yeah, they do. It would help if he wasn't getting hit by crits by literally everything in the game right now.
Yeah.
I think the game knows you're planning to break it as much as possible.
Yeah, it's trying to defend itself, but it's embrace the inevitable, Pokemon Red. You're about to get done. And you ain't gonna like it. Oh, so John Cena's level 15 now, so that's good. You know what, Cena, you can... Actually, no, Cena, you cannot. You're going to go away. Because today's Rusev Day. And Rusev's going to beat down his Metapod. I want to try and get Ivysaur now, because he's level 15 anyway, so...
yeah, it makes sense.
Let's try and get Ivysaur.
I really love that line.
What, Metapod?
No, Bulbasaur, obviously.
I was going to say, we've managed to go through this entire stream without making a single Metapod use Harden joke until now.
Yeah, well. To be perfectly fair, after Generation 4 literally had a pair of trainers with an Onyx and a Cloyster.
Yeah. I was saying earlier, like, you know, how they all used to say that Pokemon's for kids, and it's like, is it though?
Is it really?
There's definitely some nonsense they try to sneak under the radar.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I was saying earlier in chat about because my mom tried to shelter me a lot from games that had violent content in them, specifically violent content. So she'd buy me games with non-violent content in, such as Torin's Passage, which has a masturbation joke in the second world. Thanks, Mom.
Just as an aside, Ivysaur's sprite in this game looks so high.
Well, I have always been under the belief that those leaves are of some kind of illicit substance. So.
The interesting thing about...
No, I didn't touch you. What the hell? This game's for kids, man.
The interesting thing about Ivysaur is the fact that this generation is the only generation ever in which Ivysaur is portrayed on its back legs like that. Interestingly enough, the Pokédex entries, or was it like the unofficial Pokédex entries in the Pokemon website of the time, which was weird.
Yeah, on the subject of Pokemon that look high, can we just take a look at this Jigglypuff for 1 second?
Yes, it's Jigglypuff.
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't think
point.
it looks high so much as Scorn's serial killer girlfriend.
There's probably a lot of crossover between that. The reason why I spam Poison Sting there was because it can put me to sleep, so if I could poison it, it gives you some residual damage, sorry, if I can get the words out. But I didn't really complain to that, because John Cena is the champ, and he just whooped you, Miss Sexual Harassment Girl. You want to accuse me of that shit again? Swear, John? Don't care. Literally, I walked past her, and she's like, "Eek, did you touch me?" He's like, "No, I didn't." This game's for kids, and we're put like sexual harassment in the game? Sure.
I was 3 pixels away! No! I meant tired of pixels, but, you know, what I mean.
Yeah, if you can guarantee, like, when the Let's Go Pikachu and that comes out, and she's like, what, 20 years older, she's gonna be one of them Tumblr people who just accuses everybody of sexually harassing her. Guaranteed. Get out of here. Take your puffball somewhere else. Right, okay,
Either way, yeah, I was saying before we kind of got distracted by Jigglypuff, that, yeah, this game is the only one where you see Ivysaur on its back legs, and the Pokédex entry actually says that in this form, the plant on its back gets too heavy for it to be able to stand on its back legs, so someone in the development team and in the art team wasn't talking to each other.
Indeed, and that TM is the reason why you do the Brock skip, because that TM is Water Gun. That's going to be useful in a little bit.
Huh.
Right, so we're here. I don't see anybody voting in chat about what I was supposed to use, and we're already at Mount Moon. And we kind of need to make a choice here. Zubat or Arbok, guys? That includes the two of you as well.
We're making the choice now.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, we're here. I mean, I kind of want to be training this Zubat now, if I can.
I'll go Zubat, I think.
Zubat? Stel,
Yeah.
do you have any preference?
I think the bat can work, just because Golbat has the most hilarious flipping sprite in this game.
You know what? You bring up a valid point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to beat this guy. Suspicious men are in the cave, yeah, including me, who just got accused of groping a woman. Champ is here. So yeah, we've decided it's going to be Zubat. This is going to be the next Pokemon. That's actually going to make this this cave a little bit easier to deal with, because in Generation 1, Poison is weak to Bug. Don't ask why. I mean, Bug's also weak to Poison. That I can understand, but yeah, Poison's weak to Bug, and unfortunately all the Zubat in this cave have Leech Life, which is a Bug-type move. Which means that life's going to be great. Especially for Ivysaur, who happens to be 4 times weak to bug in this game. He's also a grass type.
It's one of those weird things about Generation 1 where they've probably misprogrammed the types. I mean, the plan was originally... the plan was originally for ghost types to be able to beat psychic types, and some idiot coded it so that instead it does 0 damage.
Yeah.
The game still, however, tells you that psychic types only fear ghosts and bugs.
Yeah, they fear the type so much that can't damage them in any way, shape or form. Good job, guys, good job. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be using the lovely TM that I just got, and it's not Bide because Brock's useless and gives me rubbish. It's going to be Water Gun, and we can teach Water Gun to Nidoran, who's now Nidorino. You can't teach Nidoran male, but when he evolves, you can teach it to him, so...
I actually had no idea you can put Water Gun on Nidorino. You know?
Oh, you can. It's going to come in a little bit useful later on. It's not going to be tremendously useful, to be honest with you. Because once we beat Misty, we will get a vastly superior replacement for it in Bubble Beam. So, yeah, we don't expect to see Water Gun too long, but, you know, we've got it.
It's a good coverage thing at this particular point, considering the current...
Oh, yeah. And also my rival happened to pick Charmander, so that's going to do him a world of good.
Oh, right.
That's the main reason why I wanted it, is just for the fact that he's got Charmander, so now I've got a move that's super effective against him.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, once Nido whatever gets Thrash, that's pretty much the only move you need for him.
Pretty much, yeah. Funny fact about Nidoking, he's known for being able to learn a huge amount of moves. And for being a poison ground type, which is a great combination. He can't learn dig.
Does seem odd.
Yeah.
To be fair, can you imagine this sort of weird rabbit Godzilla sort of burrowing out of the ground?
I mean, to be fair, I think they gave I'm pretty sure they gave Charizard dig as well, and they're just like, well, it's a flying type, dude.
They removed it at some point. I think that it still had it in this generation, but then they removed it in every successive
in Pokemon Red, Charizard could dig, but he sure as hell could not fly. Well done, guys.
Yeah. They fixed that in Yellow, though.
They did. Again, this is the same game series where Ghastly can learn Ice Punch.
How?
And Black Kyurem can't. Let's point that out.
To be fair, this series does have a few really strange cases of Pokemon learning moves that they shouldn't be able to learn. I mean, yeah, Ice Punch on Wooper, for example.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite, Iron Tail on Alakazam.
Yeah.
Also, well...
I think Primeape gets it as well, doesn't it? Primeape gets Iron Tail as well, I think.
Possibly. I mean, to be fair, I mean, you take Alakazam and, you know, Primeape and whatever. All these Pokemon have tails, so it's like, you know, sort of a vestigial leftover or whatever. But, Cyndaquil used to be able to learn that in Generation 2, I think, and it can't anymore, obviously, but yeah, Cyndaquil does not exactly have much of a tail in any of his forms.
It is kind of interesting how some of the Pokemon did have their designs changed.
That particular set of move Brass Ass.
Yeah. Right, so we're gonna catch Zubat. We've decided that Zubat's gonna be my third Pokemon. However, I'm going to try and catch one that's a slightly higher level, just for the simple fact that it has Supersonic right off the bat. And that's going to make it a little bit easier to do the whole switcheroo leveling up thing, because he can confuse people on his way out. Alternatively, we can just wander around, have no Zubats turn up, and fight this dude with his Magnemite.
Oh dear.
No, seriously though, why are there no wild Pokemon yet?
They'll show up eventually.
This is Mount Moon. I'm supposed to be getting absolutely flooded. So this is the thing with Zubat. When you want him to turn up, he don't show up.
You really don't want him to turn up. You get 200 of them.
Yep. And as soon as I catch one, I know that's exactly what's going to happen. The good news is Zubat himself is actually not weak to Leech Love, so that will at least allow him to sponge that a bit for me. God damn it, Rusev. Get a pair of glasses. I mean, I'm pretty sure, actually, I think that in itself is a glitch. I'm pretty sure Vine Whip has 100% accuracy. So yeah, there's a glitch. I did say there wasn't going to be any glitches today, but apparently the game has decided otherwise. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Gen 1 miss. You see, as it happens, Gen 1 is so well made that even when a move has 100% accuracy, it in fact does not have 100% accuracy. It still has a 1 in 256 chance of missing, due to how well this game is coded. So, yeah, food for thought. It's funny what you know, eh? Yeah, pretty much. As Ray just pointed out, that's exactly what they did. Yeah, programming's fun unless you're a Generation 1 developer, in which case you quite clearly don't like doing it.
To be fair, one odd thing you need to... game might have a lot of weird arbitrary code nonsense happen, but
I know.
it still takes a lot to actually crash the game to the point of actually crashing. And yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's like a weird combination of the game being made by complete incompetent people who never programmed a thing in their entire life, and people who are very, very, very good programmers, at least the point of, you know, coming up with weird hacky solutions of having all this nonsense on the Game Boy and still not crash.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of it says soft lock picking videos. Yes, I've seen that. I've seen all the soft lock picking videos. They are very good, and I do highly recommend them if you get a chance to have a look at them on YouTube.
Yep, I've seen them as well. They're really, really good. Definitely worth having a look at.
Again, that's one thing I like about Generation 1. It is a genuine, like, as much as, like, you know, I give it crap for, like, being glitchy and stuff like that, it is a generally very interesting game because of that. All the funny things that you kind of make it do that you never realised as a kid. Hey, wow, wild Pokemon! What's this? Oh, it's Geodude. Get out. Well, you know what, Geodude? That's the way it's going to be. Guess what? I got a present for you. Get out.
And then Ridley sort of swoops in and takes it away.
Oh, Ridley's in the cave now?
I don't know. I just heard presents.
Oh, no. I don't know if I'll be able to handle that. Not ready for Ridley.
No one's ever ready for Ridley.
No, the fans weren't when he turned up in Smash Ultimate. Speaking of Smash Ultimate, King K. Rool's joined him now as well.
Yes.
And Dark Samus, which has really nifty textures.
Echo on my voice, yeah, probably. I don't know where it's coming from. It's probably just because I'm holding the mic so close to my mouth. He's really like the Spanish Inquisition. Probably, yeah. He just turns up when he wants to.
To be fair, this is a generation where you can get a Ridley equivalent. You just need to have cut for that, essentially.
Yeah. Actually, since we've got more people in chat, we may as well redo this whole vote thing. Guys, in the chat, since there's 3 of you now, we've been kind of curious about what my next Pokemon should be between Zubat and Ekans. Which would you like me to use, guys? Choice is yours. We've had 2 votes in favour of Zubat so far. So, if all 3 of you decide you want me to use Ekans instead, then we're going to have a little change of team going on. What do you want, guys? Let me know. Zubat. It's another vote for Zubat. So unless we get stream bombed with votes for Ekans, then looks like it's going to be Zubat. So Zubat. Crobat is not in this generation, actually. You've only got Golbat, but he's still plenty good. He's not as good as Crobat, obviously, so we're not going to be able to reach the lofty heights of Crobat's awesomeness. And speaking of the devil, here he is. It's Zubat. He's level 11. Nice.
Is that the one you were after?
Yeah, because he should have Supersonic. Now, hopefully John Cena will not destroy him with this water gun.
course, now Twitch is going to have it.
Yeah, there you go. He's got Supersonic.
Delete.
Do I want to risk doing this again? Probably not. I've had some really bad luck with crits today.
Oh, there we go.
Speaking of which,
Refresh. What is going on?
right, let's try and catch this guy now. Why is he called John Cena? Because he's the champ, that's why. And he's going to be the champ of this run, believe you me. Nidoking is very powerful in Generation 1. Speaking of Zubat, we need to give him a name. And since we're going through the theme of wrestler names, I've just the thing for this guy.
Oh boy.
You ready, guys? Any idea where this is going?
Batista?
Batista! Because I love the puns.
That is a good one.
You know what, I'm gonna... Oh, I'm doing more than avoiding psychic types. This is a monotype poison run, so anything that's not got poison in its type ain't getting used. At all. So I'm gonna head back to the Pokemon now because it really is an awful pun, but you know what?
And now I'm picturing a Zubat, Golbat, Crobat line with Drax's markings.
You know what? I would totally catch that.
Yep, me too. It's just that your Zubat might eventually become one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, so, you know.
What, and get erased by Thanos? Spoiler alert.
They're going to bring him back. That's kind of the hilarious thing about, you know, the whole Infinity War thing, is that, you know, even if you don't know the comics all that much, and you don't know that comics basically kill everyone and bring them back together after like 5 seconds, you just basically, all you need to do is take a look at the list of the movies for next year, and it's like, they all got sequels. So it's like, yeah, you just know the next movie is just going to be Unsnap.
Pretty much, yeah. And look, as soon as I catch a Zubat, now we're just getting swarmed by him.
Because of course.
That's how it works, of course.
Yeah, pretty much. This is how the game works. That's what you got to deal with.
It was like
They're
the first
supersonic.
swallow that marks the coming of the Bat Spring.
So that's the thing, like, I just realised I can just do this. Yeah, I could just heal myself by doing this. I'm so good at this game, I didn't even realise I could do that. Haha, look at that, hacks. 3 crits, 3 self-inflicted confusion damage in a row. Get out. Yeah, I can use that annoying stuff too, you know.
Oh man, I never actually trained one of these in Generation 1. I think I've only trained the Zubat line once. And that was in Platinum, actually.
See, I've trained it twice now, I think. Once in Generation 4, once in Generation 2. But obviously, both those times you had Crobat there. So that kind of made it a bit easier.
Crobat is kind of really worth it, to be perfectly honest. Which is
Crobat's fantastic.
It really is.
There's not enough good things I can say about Crobat. So all those people who keep whining that Zubat keeps attacking, they want you to catch one. Dude, just catch one and then you'll be happy with Zubat. You'll like him and you'll understand that Zubat is love and Zubat is life. Ladies and gentlemen.
To be perfectly honest, I've always kind of liked Zubat, specifically Zubat, because I think it's adorable in a really weird sort of bat, but not quite bat sort of way. There's just something kind of alien about it, which it's kind of this... It's one of those Pokemon that you can see where the inspiration came from, but it's very much its own thing. I mean, those weird Cersei leg whisker things, the complete lack of eyes, there's just something that really... It looks like it looks like something you'd find in a fantasy game in place of a bat. But it's
It really
not
does,
exactly
yeah.
a bat. And, you know, then you have Golbat, which is kind of stupid, but it's hilariously stupid. Crobat is
Especially in this generation.
Yeah, and in this generation, Golbat's got quite a long tongue.
Yep. And Yeah, I mean, Crobat is kind of less hilarious in comparison to the rest of them, and then you remember what they did with it in the Stadium games, and you're like, oh god. That thing, I want to find whoever designed that model and slightly punch them in the face. What is up with his teeth? It makes Steelix look like it makes sense.
I think the answer to that question is the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, Nintendo 64 was a hot mess.
It carried over to every other instance of 3D model battle shenanigans. I'm pretty sure that it's still around in Battle Revolution, the way its teeth are stupid.
Well, they did reuse a lot of models for Battle Revolution, I think.
They did.
Which made Machamp look horrendous.
Yes. I guess what are you going to do? Rebuild however many models every single time?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, considering how much they end up cutting from Battle Revolution, it doesn't surprise me in the least that they'd go as far as to reuse N64 models, so whatever.
Well, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think they've kind of made the models once and just sort of streamlined them every once in a while.
Pretty much, yeah. Just crank up the poly count a little bit, smooth it all off, you're good.
Because you do see the same sort of structures in, say, Pokemon Go, where these models are kind of hanging around these days. I think that the 3DS games got new ones, at least mostly new ones.
Yeah, X and Y, I think they redid them all for, and they sort of built them. They built them to last, I think.
Yeah, I think they.
But it was one of those things where they were going to rebuild them once and then hopefully not again for a fairly long time.
And then they kind of probably have to do it all over again for the Switch games. Because,
shouldn't have to.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the. I've looked at the trailers for the latest trailers for Let's Go, and I don't know. I mean, I suppose that it could be the same models but with different shaders and textures on them. But
yeah, that can make it look a lot different, even if it's the same model.
Oh, definitely. I've actually seen some really nifty shader shenanigans. 3D art has gone a long way since back when I used to try to fiddle with it.
Yeah.
It's like, part of me really wants to try to understand it again, but most of me is like, I don't even know where to begin. It's kind of intimidating for newcomers, basically. I mean, I suppose it's just a matter of actually sitting down and doing it, but one of these days, maybe.
Zubat's putting some work in right now.
No, Zubat.
Yeah.
Zubat. Nail.
If I wasn't going for the rest of the thing, we should have called him Nail.
Yeah. Someone said in chat, too bad there won't be more Pokemon games on 3DS. I'm glad they're moving to Switch. Like, I don't think it would do the series any good to try and hold itself back, kind of beyond 3DS and Switch, or just not move to Switch. But I think it is a shame because you lose the install base. The Switch is still quite expensive.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're trying to progress the series, like, technology, you kind of got to go forward with that as well. So I can see why they're doing it.
Yeah, you've got to.
I mean, to be fair, they've already struggled with putting what they already had into the 3DS.
Plus, they're trying to get you to buy the Switch, so you know.
I mean,
well, yeah.
If you take a look at Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I mean, I know that they kind of finished it in like 6 months, but I do think that they kind of shoved everything they could into Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
They did, yeah.
At this point, they kind of, they really did stretch the system's capacities beyond what it was expected to do, because that's what Game Freak does, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, they do it every generation. Yeah, every time. You look at Black and White and what they did on the.
It's kind of amazing how much Pokemon games can be a really good benchmark for what the system can do,
Yeah.
when you think it can't do any better.
I mean, if you think about it, really, the 3DS is a system from, well, it was released in 2011.
Oh, man.
Which means that it is effectively hardware from around 2008, 2009.
Might have to go back and heal this guy now because I've just done this.
Yeah, might be smart.
Get out, Clefairy.
So you're running on kind of a console, even though they released like the last iteration of the 2DS XL. I think it was this year,
Use
last
that Red
year.
Candy now, actually, whilst I'm thinking about it.
But it's running hardware that's very nearly 10 years old. And graphical power, mobile graphical power, in fact, from 10 years ago. And it wasn't that great 10 years ago.
Do I have any potions? Yeah, I've got
So-
4. I'll just use one of these.
From a sort of purely technical point of view, yeah, it's definitely high time we moved on. You know, these will be the first Pokemon games, main series Pokemon games, to run at above, what is it, 240p, which, as I quite often point out, is the quality level where if you end up with it on YouTube, you know your internet connection isn't very good. Whereas I believe, I don't know if they've confirmed this yet, but I believe from the footage we've seen, it's running at 1080p docked on the Switch, which is
It's
good.
not bad, that's all.
Very, very good, yeah. Probably 30 frames, but, you know.
Well, to be fair, like, we're not going to expect, like, 60 frames per second from the Switch. It's kind of unfair.
No, I think not. I mean, they could have sacrificed sort of resolution or graphics to hit the target, but because it's turn-based, they don't really need to.
No. I just realised PP is probably going to be a problem with the Zubat, but...
Yeah, it's probably.
And this is taking forever. Unfortunately, Zubat's damage is kind of terrible until you get Bite, but that's why I gave it the Rare Candy, to try and speed up getting Bite.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what level it gets it at, to be honest, so... I'm sure someone
I'm not
will
sure either.
now go and look it up.
So, what's new this week in terms of the news? So I can only think of one thing.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. You mean games related or in general?
Pokemon related, ideally, but
Well, I can think of one thing, but it's not entirely Pokemon related. I mean, it's partially Pokemon related, but yeah, Professor Oak's dead.
Yes.
yes,
Well, his Japanese voice actor is technically, who also voiced the narrator and a good number of other Pokemon. Onyx,
It's a shame.
for one, I think. As far as
it
I
is a
remember.
shame.
He actually did a whole lot of voices in other series that I liked, so it was like I did not even know that it was him until, you know, I actually read about his death. Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah, it's a shame to hear, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, our condolences to his family, of course.
Indeed, even though I'm pretty sure they're not watching this.
I'm pretty sure they're not watching this, but even so.
Suddenly I just realized that that's at least 3 voice actors that were involved in Pokemon that are dead now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is kind of...
At least 3. I don't know if there's any more.
Well,
But
there was... what's
obviously
it?
the
What was her
original
name again? Who
Mewtwo
did
is
Meowth's
dead.
voice? I don't want to guess and get her name wrong.
Oh yeah, Maddie Bloomstein.
That's the one.
I was specifically thinking about Japanese, but you know, yeah, adding Maddie into the list, that makes at least 4. But yeah, Japan specifically, we just lost Professor Oak, obviously, and the original Mewtwo is gone. And
Well, a lot of them are getting old
voice
now.
is also down.
Like, I didn't realise just how old some of the... some of these voice actors and actresses actually are over there.
I mean, a lot of these
Yeah,
people have been doing these voices for 20 years now.
Oh yeah, like the woman who does Goku's voice in Japanese, I think she's like in her 70s now.
Yeah.
She's a badass grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some people are have been really doing this for bloody ages. It is kind of weird to see how time kind of flies I was basically thinking about that because, there's a series that I kind of really absolutely love called Babylon 5. It's from the 90s.
Oh, I remember that.
Basically, I've actually recently seen a few, obviously, the weird thing about Babylon 5 is, it's half its cast members are dead right now for some reason. A lot of them died really young for various reasons. But yeah, I've actually recently seen a picture of, a few of the surviving cast members, and it's like...
I'm going to enjoy this. You're about to get wrecked, lady. Because I quad resist you with your lovely 1 damage.
How incredibly odd-ish.
So, I almost hesitate to mention this on stream just because it is such a wild rumour. But there is a particularly wild rumour that's been going around the last sort of week or so, which is some video game listings that have shown up on Amazon UK for unnamed, untitled, but upcoming Switch games. Basically, it's like there's 30 of them and there's just a listing for each. Most of them are literally just untitled Switch game number 2 or whatever. There is there's 2 of them that have been uploaded with the Pokemon logo. And, what's the exact name? It's like Untitled Switch Game.
For the Wii U on the 3DS. Yes, it's a placeholder.
It's a big place. It's her mother of all placeholders, yeah. But it was kind of a fun one because the title basically says it's a 3DS game on the Wii U. On the Wii U. Freudian slip there. On the Switch. The URL.
It did have the Wii U mentioned on its URL or something.
It did, yes. Exactly. So it's incredibly placeholder. So there's every chance it's just either complete speculation on the part of an Amazon intern or a typo, whatever. But it does make you wonder.
Gen 1 miss? Actually, no, it's not Gen 1 miss. Tackles at 95.
Yeah.
It's probably caused by Gen 1 miss, to be fair, though.
It does seem a bit of a weird sort of idea to port any of the 3DS games to Switch, to be honest. Now that we have Let's Go coming out.
I don't think it's even actually possible in terms of actually getting all the weird interface shenanigans in there. Because
why is Jojo got the Wii Jojo? Because he's Jojo,
it's obviously possible, but it would be way too much effort for what they'd be willing to put in at the particular point when they have Let's Go to develop and the unnamed 2019 Pokemon games.
It really does depend, because if it's been farmed out to another team, or even if it's just another team inside Game Freak, there's no particular reason why they can't just change the interface a little bit. I don't think it's quite as strenuous as it might seem.
To be fair, it probably is.
I mean, the thing, I think kind of where we're at with this one is the whole credibility of a 3DS port kind of falls apart well before you start looking at the interfaces. Because the thing is, you basically have 2 choices when it comes to what you port from the 3DS.
Yeah, I'm back.
X and Y, which run on an older version of the engine and therefore aren't already ready for Switch. Maybe it's possible to port them, I don't know. And Sun and Moon, which effectively came out last year.
Oh, this sucks.
I don't think they
Oh boy. What a pain.
Well, the only reason I even consider it is because there was a rumor, largely, I mean, it ended up not being true, but we don't necessarily think the rumor is wrong. Basically, I think the plans got changed, but the plan originally, apparently, was to bring ports of Sun and Moon to the Switch. I think the idea was that they were going to turn out something quickly, so to kind of have something in the Switch's first year. And they decided to make what they codenamed Stars. We've talked about this before.
Stars.
Yeah, and then they got Nemesis out of the production office.
Yeah, and then he shot Darkside Phil with a railgun.
Yeah, and in the end, it ended up not being true. And I think, you know, it's a sort of a question mark as to why. But very obvious that they dropped development on Stars, made Ultra Sun and Moon instead, and then moved on to, as we now know, Let's Go.
And 2019.
And 2019, yeah.
Well, let's try this again, shall we?
But it's kind of obviously interesting because we do definitely have a half-finished Sun and Moon port lying around in their offices somewhere on Switch.
Who knows really what they have in their offices. We were only recently finding out a lot of things they used to have in their offices long ago.
That's true. Well, they're very secretive, aren't they? And I think that's not unusual for a company like Game Freak.
It's not unusual.
It's also not unusual for Game Freak to do things that are completely silly, so...
Yeah, they have done some crazy things in the past, haven't they? Yeah, that's strange.
They really
I mean,
have.
to be fair, they turned Hitmontop from really awesome and alien looking to Mop. So...
Well, yes.
There's been a lot of the original designs for Generation 2 Pokemon are just a lot crazier and more interesting than what we ended up getting. Not really sure why they decided to tone down everything, but shrug. Shrug.
Ha!
This game and its really warped type chart.
Now I've just healed myself off this seconds, which is great.
Always useful.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, cans! Hey, cans! Fishing mailed.
That, I believe, is Mega Punch, but we won't be using that because it's terrible. The only thing that really gets it, well, I could give it to Nidoking, but he doesn't really need it, to be honest.
No, not really. Yada does he? It really does have the JoJo haircut.
Yeah, it does.
It really does, doesn't it? So many Pokemon designs kind of mysteriously changed.
Yeah.
A lot of the sprites in Generation 1 are incredibly off-model.
Yeah, well, it's suggesting they had a model.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure if they exactly had a particular model because, you know, we've actually seen a lot of the original designs were actually done in sprite mode. So it is quite possible that the sprites are the original designs and then they kind of drew them and adapted them and modified them as, you know, art. And only later sort of corrected the sprites to match the new art. I'm not entirely sure what they've done there, but they've done something. And then there's a few things that just sort of mutated over time, like Venomoth losing the yellow spots on its wings, and Charmander had this really weird spike on its neck or something that kind of got smoothed over.
It had like a row of spines across its back.
Yeah, they smoothed it over for some reason. They've done a lot of weird things with the designs. There has been a lot of mutation over the years. Yeah. Pikachu in particular kind of got mutated and streamlined and...
Yeah, Pikachu used to be quite fat.
Yep.
Yep.
There's no two ways around it, really. Pikachu used to be fat.
I still can't get over the fact that they might have actually cut the weird ball tiger thing from both Generation 1 and Generation 2.
Really?
Yep. This is conjecture. I mean, basically what happened is that a group of people who call themselves Helix Chamber these days sort of ran over the this one video interview that actually showed a bit of like really early Generation 1 design content, obviously the video was like really, really old and really pixelated. But they sort of enhanced the images as much as they basically could. And one of the things they found in one of the design sheets was a form that, well, before we had the reference point for the Space World demo, they probably couldn't have actually identified what it was. But then when you take that particular set of blurs and compare it to the Pokemon in the Space World demo, one of them looks a whole of a lot like it might have been Kotora, the bull tiger Pokemon, and which means they kind of cut it from Generation 1, and then they kind of thought of re-including it in Generation 2, and they didn't. And we've just not seen it since. Which is a shame, because it's honestly kind of adorable. I mean, I suppose that there is the point of, like, you know, having another ball-shaped electric-type Pokemon. They've been kind of silly, but... shrug. Considering the fact these are the same people who, are no strangers to having redundancies.
Yeah. Luxray and Electivire.
Yeah.
I hope they fired whoever came up with that idea.
I don't know.
I know that sounds mean, but at the end of the day, it's like, if you're going to make two Pokemon in the same generation and one of them's just literally a better version of the other, then you need to go home.
Yeah, Luxray is another Pokemon that I think needs some kind of... it needs a Mega Evolution or something that actually makes it distinctive enough and really works.
Something to make it not terrible, basically.
Because I do generally like its design. It's very, let's not beat around the bush. It's a Vegeta cat.
Yeah.
It is literally a Vegeta cat. So...
does that make Electivire Nappa? Does that make Electivire Nappa?
Vegeta, why? Because I'm a monkey.
Because I'm a Luxray.
That too. Oh dear.
Yeah, this is what we've been reduced to, guys, because Mount Moon is just so exciting and thrilling and great. You know, I'm really promoting, you know, myself and this game so well.
Mount Moon. The original incredibly tedious cave of incredible tediousness.
Yeah.
So not that they've really learned any better after 20 years.
Oh god, no, they haven't.
I mean, they did refine it into a complete abomination in Mount Coronet, but
yeah,
well,
actually, to be perfectly honest, Twist Mountain might be slightly worse.
Really?
Maybe.
I mean, Coronet has one thing going for it. It is incredibly and utterly massive, but it's not as twisty, so to speak. I mean, Twist Mountain has way too many twists.
Hence the name.
Yes, exactly. Obviously, hence the name. But Mount Coronet is just really big and in your way, so to speak.
Oh, there's going to be many ways that we're going to break this game, believe you me. We've already demonstrated one of them on the previous video, where we outright skipped Brock completely and then went back to beat him anyway. So there's going to be quite a few glitches that you're going to see. Some of them are going to assist me in beating the game, others are just going to be for fun. Most of them will probably be for fun, in all honesty. I don't want to, you know, basically cheat and beat the game, like, you know, through just pure glitches, although they will definitely come into play.
To be fair, once you've actually run out of things to do in this game, I can actually picture like a video that's like entirely dedicated to game-breaking glitches of Doom.
There's not that many, well, there's not a huge amount of game-breaking glitches in Doom, to be honest with you. Most of the glitches are kind of like little exploits that you can do in order to help beat the game, except for the remake of Doom where somebody worked out how to jump out of the map. But
yeah, which is why I said off Doom and not in Doom, although that would be kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Doom in Mount Moon, first-person Zubat action.
Yeah. Just go around shooting Zubats with a shotgun. Quite a few people like that. But yeah, there's going to be quite a few glitches in this. I'm not going to spoil too many of them, to be honest, because a lot of them are best kept secret for now, at least. They are that entertaining.
That is incredibly dumb of a mental image.
And here we go. We've got the Moonstone, and now we're going to use the Moonstone in order to turn John Cena into the champ.
Actually, you probably should wait until you get every move you want, because they stop learning moves when they...
Not Nidoking.
Yeah, you know what the good news is? I already have all the moves I want, because this guy learns everything via TM. Boom.
Oh.
Yeah, I did this when I ran yellow. I was like, okay, I've definitely got to kind of hold off for a while.
In fact, the funny thing is Nidoking does learn one move. And loses all the ones that we learn as Nidorino. And that one move is the move we actually want, and that's Thrash, because Thrash is great.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
so, evolving
Thrash
him
on this
early...
thing is basically the only thing it needs.
Yeah, Thrash is pretty much the only thing you need at the beginning of the game. Like, all the other moves that it gets, you don't need. As you're right, you normally, yes, it's true, you do want to wait, but in Nidoking's case, you're not waiting for anything. There's nothing to wait for.
I forgot that Nidoking learns Thrash as a learn-up move.
Yeah.
It's been a while again.
He does. So, for that reason, you know what, we might as well go back and get some potions, actually.
What does that thing learn Thrash anyway? Let me actually take a look at that specifically.
Let's just heal up Zubat a bit and then just let him bite things in. One badge in, fully evolved Pokemon. Yep, pretty much. That's Generation 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, it gets Thrash in level 23.
Exactly, you get it very early. Obviously, if you wait, then you'll miss it. We don't want that. We don't want to miss Thrash because it is great.
Yeah.
So now we've got Bite. Zubat can actually, you know, kill things. Which is great. Because Bite also flinches people, which is even better.
Flinch hacks.
Not that we need to there. One hit KO. It's fine.
Flinch hacks is a very fun thing to...
I mean, to be fair, Nidoking already breaks Red by itself. In all honesty, it's that strong.
Yep.
If you know how to do it, then you know you can just win. I mean, pretty much all the speedruns you see of Pokemon Red nowadays, they're pretty much done with Nidoking beating the game by himself. So, and those are the glitchless runs I'd like to point out where he's doing that. The glitched runs, it's just like you don't even need Nidoking, you can just do whatever you want. So, yeah, Zubat's pretty decent now that he's got Bite. A little bit later on, he'll also get Confuse Ray, which is just amazing. So you can just Confuse Ray things and then bite him to death. Which is just great. It's out John Cena now. In his new form, show off the champ. Here he is in all of his glory. The funny thing is in the speedruns, they don't actually evolve Nidoking. They don't actually evolve Nidorino straight away. They do wait a little bit. The reason being is because his Cry lasts longer than Nidorino's does. So by waiting a little bit, you get to save about a second or two by not having to listen to that Cry. Makes all the difference in the world.
I'm just sort of picturing a Nidoking just kind of pouring a cup of water on things.
Yeah,
That's basically water gun.
It's basically what he's doing. Either he's pissing on him, I'll let you decide. Which starter is good for red, yellow and blue? Well, for yellow, the best starter is Pikachu. He's also the worst starter in many ways.
Yes.
For red and blue, I mean, they say that, you know, actually, forget it, Venusaur's the best starter, I don't care.
Venusaur is amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
I know loads of people will be like, oh, but Charizard's great. Yeah, Charizard's the best starter because he's a big orange dragon. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Also, you're all wrong. Stunfisk is the best starter.
Well, Stunfisk is so good you can't even start with him. It doesn't let you.
Exactly. It's like God mode.
Yeah, there's only a few esteemed trainers who are allowed to start with Stunfisk.
Yeah, to be fair, you have to be a Dunsparce to do that. Everyone else has to be a Dunsparce too.
I'm sure John Romero has started with Stunfisk.
There is actually a video someone made, which is like a parody of all those incredibly stupid, silly things you can do in these games, where, you know, like you have to beat the elite like a billion times in order to do something. You know, the old Pokegod rumor type things. And basically, it was something stupid like catching Arceus in Pokemon Red and Blue. And the first thing it does is like, okay, first you have to be a Dunsparce. Everyone else has to be a
Yeah, I've
Dunsparce
seen that.
too.
It's pretty awesome. He's probably going to knock out Batista now. There we go, Supersonic.
Dirty double crossing rat.
Right. Well, let's beat up the rat.
The Supersonics are just kind of flopping left and right.
Yeah, it's not a very accurate move, unfortunately, so I kind of have to wait for it. Hit yourself. There you go. I was actually going to go back and buy potions. I just realised I've completely forgot
Because,
to do
of
that.
course, they had to link that.
Why not, right?
Yep.
Luckily, he's not doing much damage to Ivysaur. He's down. Yeah, I'm going to go back and get potions because I forgot to do that, and I'm an idiot for doing that.
Right, that's reasonable.
Let's just send out someone else in the meantime so they can actually fight through it. John Cena, you're level 17. You don't want that. You should be strong. Yeah, I was not smart. I did forget to do that. So this cave is... There's Paris. Hi, Paris. Right. I just realised I could have just like spammed Leech Life on him and healed myself, but... Hindsight's a wonderful thing, ain't it? Speaking of which...
Hey, it's a pass.
Bye, Paris. You're the only thing in the game that can't get one hit by Poison Sting. That's how much you suck. Yeah, if you believe that, Paris is actually even worse in Generation 1 because it's 4 times weak to poison.
Yeah.
And flying. And fire.
I always liked that line, but yeah, it's... I don't... It's not that great in this game.
I mean, it got Spore, which was
It
cool,
did.
but-
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think that when I did my Generation run, I had one. But I can't remember if I did Paris in Generation 1 or 2. Generation 1 is something I did ages back, in which I basically played all the Pokemon games, at least one game per generation, back to back. And every time I started a new generation, I carried one Pokemon from each generation over. Yeah, I did have Paris in. Parasect was one of the things I carried over. Awesome.
I'm pretty sure I was the one who told you to use that.
Yeah, you might have been. So yeah, in Generation 1, I ran Pikachu, Parasect, Vaporeon, Primeape, and Kadabra because it was like, yeah, I need to do something with that stupid thing.
Yeah.
Generation 2, I ran Parasect. I carried Parasect over Sudowoodo, Starmie, and Dragonite. And Generation 3, I carried Parasect and Starmie over, and then I had a shiny Mightyena for some reason. Magnemite and Armaldo. I carried Magneton, sorry, I keep scrambling. I carried Magneton over and turned it into a Magnezone in Generation 4, in which I also called a Staraptor and a Gliscor. I think I carried the Gliscor over to Generation 5, and I might have kind of stopped there because reasons. But it was an interesting run, I will say.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back and get some potions now that I've actually remembered to do it.
This was a very interesting one.
It's lovely, this lovely stroll back through this lovely route of lovely greenness.
Yep. Somewhere out there, John Romero is cackling.
He really is.
Get him away from me,
And the worst part is I can't even hate him for it. 10 should do.
Yeah, they were.
Yes, they were. I actually just used one. In fact, rare candies were quite prolific in Generation 1, which you'll find out a bit later on. Spoiler alert. Because there is a way, as it happens, to get quite a few of them. I'm actually going to save now that I've remembered to get the potions, because it's such a crucial thing that I've done. Now, as a general rule, as I said at the beginning in the first episode, if anyone was here for that, I'm only allowed to send out poison-type Pokemon, but I can catch Pokemon that aren't poison types if I need to use them for HMs and stuff. So. Otherwise, this game would be a bit of a pain to beat, because I'd have to walk everywhere.
To be fair, can you stick Fly on Golbat?
I don't think Golbat can learn Fly in this.
Huh.
Which is a bit of a shame, because I wouldn't mind putting it on him actually, because it wouldn't. In this generation at least, it's not even a bad move to have.
Let me actually take a look at this. I am actually curious now.
And Crobat, I think Crobat gets Fly, but I don't think Golbat does, which is really annoying.
Kind of bizarre considering they all fly.
Yeah, it doesn't. That is odd.
But Doduo can learn Fly, because, you know, it can fly so well. It has wings, you can, you know.
It's a helicopter.
Yeah, it just spins its necks round and...
Yeah.
There's,
Or to be fair, like, if you used Fly with it in Pokemon Stadium, it would literally be running in the sky.
There is actually a video I have seen, an animation someone made of Doduo, quote-unquote, using Fly, in which it just transforms into a really ridiculous airplane.
Sounds about right.
Sounds fun.
I'm going to actually find that now, because it's kind of great.
That reminds me of this. There's a video. I think it was. I don't know if anybody's seen this one. I can't remember what it's called, but if you've seen it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It was like this 3D animation that somebody made of this kiwi bird that wanted to be able to fly. His dream was to be able to fly. So he spends like a ridiculous amount of time sticking these tree branches into the side of this cliff. And he's doing this for ages and ages and ages. And then he dives headfirst off the cliff, so that it looks like he's flying. Because the tree branches are sticking sideways out the side of the cliff that he's jumped down. And then he just hits the bottom and dies. Now, quite a few people who watched that, they actually made them cry, because the kiwi was like, I finally get to live my dream, and the kiwi's like crying that he's finally get to live his dream before he dies. And he knows he's going to die, obviously, because he just dove off a cliff. I laughed, not going to lie. I howled with laughter, because the thing that kind of spoiled the whole thing for me is, yeah, it's like, you know, he's lived his dream and it's going to be the last thing he ever does, and then he hits the bottom with that typical cartoon thud, that just noise, and I was just pissing myself laughing. I was just like, you had something going there, and just through that one sound effect, you've ruined it completely. Because now I'm just pissing myself laughing. Granted, I appreciated the video, don't get me wrong, but I don't think my reaction was the one that you intended to have.
I'm just thinking about Bacon, because that's literally its entire thing. That's why it has a crash test helmet, apparently. Years of evolution of flinging itself off cliffs.
It makes you wonder why Alder doesn't train one.
Why? Because Alder should throw himself off a cliff?
Alder throws himself off cliffs constantly.
Yeah, not hard enough.
No, I think his hair just cushions his fall.
Yeah.
It is a literal explosion.
Well, lucky him, and still having his hair at his age. I wish we were all that lucky.
Tell me about it.
Screw you, Alder.
My death tendrils.
Well, guess what, Alder? At least I'm actually good at this game. What are you? You got beat before I even turned up to fight you. What kind of champion are you?
He's not.
No, he's not. En's the champion.
At this point, Iris is, which is kind of disturbing.
Yeah, you got replaced by Iris, dude.
I mean, to be fair, I think that there is a requirement in Generation 5. In order to be a champion, you really need really crazy hair.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't say Iris has got crazy
then
hair. She just has a
N
lot of
beat
it.
them, and N already has crazy hair. And
He does.
then Iris happened.
He also has
think
green
he-
hair, which allows him to screw the rules.
I know, right? I mean, that's the whole point of Generation.
Yeah, screw the rules.
That's the weird thing. I mean, N is basically all the Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists and/or antagonists kind of rolled into one. I mean, he's got Yugi's Millennium Puzzle, Kaiba's green hair.
Joey's lack of social awareness.
Pretty much. Tristan's mild
Brain damage.
pretty much. And probably Taya's voice, who knows?
Yeah, he's definitely got Taya's voice.
God.
Also, I'm pretty sure he's at least half darts.
Somehow I would not be surprised. I mean, to be fair, when you have a game whose are literally Red Eyes Black Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon.
See, let's talk about Joey for 1 second, right? I know a lot of people like to make fun of Joey Wheeler, but I'd just like to point out some interesting facts about Joseph Wheeler that we kind of need to address here. This guy was started off in a tournament, and keep in mind this was a world championship tournament. Duelist Kingdom had best duelists from all over the world, and when he first went there, he couldn't duel his way out of a wet paper bag. He was a 100% complete novice, and by the end of the island, he's the runner-up. Can we just point out just how much he improved at that game in that short space of time?
Oh,
He
yeah,
goes from being
definitely.
completely incompetent to the second best player in the entire world. Well, second ranked player in the entire world, because you could argue that Kaiba's still potentially second best. But Kaiba wasn't ranked, so he can go away. I just like to point out that in real life, that is unprecedented. That is the
Pretty
equivalent
much.
of someone never having played Pokemon before, going to VGC Worlds, being given a team by some random person, and said, here, use this. He goes into last chance qualifiers, beats everybody, and then comes second. The only person who beats him is the champ. Can you imagine that happening? A complete novice going to Worlds.
That'd be
second.
amazing, though, wouldn't it?
It would be amazing. It'd be also completely impossible, but it'd be amazing.
Oh, totally. But it would make Worlds finally interesting.
Oh, hell yeah, it would.
Definitely.
But that's Joey Wheeler. That's what he basically did. So for all the people that give him crap about, like, oh, Joey's rubbish, it's like, yeah, the people who are better than him are some guy who can literally buy every single card in the world with, like, the money he keeps in his back pocket, and some ancient dueling pharaoh who can't be beat. Come on.
Yep.
Pretty much.
You know, I say Joey Wheeler's rubbish. So I'd say you do better. Well, you go to Worlds and get second place. Right, so almost out of this absolute hellhole. And so we still have a decent amount of time left, actually. Oh, by the way, there's another Moonstone. We won't be using that, by the way.
Nah, I figured not.
And we won't be using either of these fossils either, because neither of them are poison types, which is a bit of a shame, but what can you do? It doesn't really matter which one we pick. But, you know what? We're going to ask chat. Chat, which fossil are we going to pick? Keep in mind that your choice is absolutely irrelevant in every way.
Well, honestly, I've always preferred the Kabutops line, but
Oh, by the way, if
I'm
anybody mentions that specific meme, which I'm not going to mention, I will pick Kabutops straight away.
I vote for Kabutops anyway.
yeah, same. I mean, Ammonite is adorable, but Omastar is derp. Always has been derp and always will be derp.
And
Actually, you know what really, really, really pisses me off about Generation 7? Leech Life, or rather the new and improved Leech Life, really should have been on Kabutops. It's just...
I really wish I
everything
had the
about
new and improved
Kabutops
Leech
suggests
Life right
it should
now.
have that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only got 6 of them.
Also, just because I want Kabutops, praise Helix.
Kabutops it is.
Yep.
And I love that you got that.
Yep. How much hope
Is Batista going to be able to do this whole fight by himself?
Possibly.
He might. Wow, there goes Voltorb. Yeah, Batista's leveling up. That's what it's all about. I don't know what... I don't think coughing can... Well, now I've been screeched, tackle's probably going to really hurt, but...
Coffee.
That could have been worse. Coughing, whose little skull and crossbones is on the wrong part of his face.
I always kind of the hilarious thing is that
You know what? I'm going to switch out actually because I don't really want Batista to die. Let's get John Cena out there just so we can make this quick.
Because of this particular sprite anomaly in Red and Blue, I always kind of figured out that the coughing or wheezing lion can actually have a slightly malleable, shall I say, body template. That is to say, you know, they could have the skull and crossbones above their face or below their face, or have their eyes in slightly different places or whatever. I mean, it is a literal ball of polluted, mutated mess.
Pretty much.
I mean, I know that they kind of have to make it look at least somewhat coherent in terms of design because, you know, it's a kid's game. But I've always pictured the coughing and wheezing line kind of having a bit more natural variation.
See, I really like the coughing and wheezing line. In fact, we will be using the coughing line in this.
Cough.
And it's Clefairy again. She seems to be making a point of showing up quite often, knowing full well that I can't use it.
To be fair, does Clefairy have much of a point in any of these?
It learns a lot of moves, I guess.
Yeah, but can it actually use them?
It can use them, yes. That's about as best as can be said about it. It can use the moves. When you select the moves, it performs them.
Yeah, this is before the days where Clefable became a complete monster.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
doubles.
Clefable wasn't bad in this particularly. It just wasn't great either. It was there.
There.
It was just there.
Yep.
It existed for one purpose, and that was making sure that nobody used Wigglytuff, which was even worse. Now, I believe... Is there another item around here? Yes, there is. It's in there. I think this is Mega Kick, unless I'm mistaken. I'm not even going to look. I don't even care what it is. If it is Mega Kick, I'm not going to learn it because it misses all the time. We don't want that, so forget it.
Pretty much everything that had Mega in it until Mega Evolutions have in this series was not entirely brilliant.
Hey, we made it, Cerulean City. Woo! Look how blue it is. I will say, it actually looks pretty nice.
Blue.
The blueness is great.
It is obviously possessed by happyism.
Yeah.
Who knew Misty was an insane cultist?
To be fair, that's not too far out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, let's be honest, her clan of shippers are basically an evil cult.
I know, right?
Good old poke
Even though
shipping.
they have forgotten things.
Oh, look, there's another red candle. I think... So we've got a rival fight coming up, and he's a bit of a pain.
Just a bit, yeah.
Well, okay, his first Pokemon is a bit of a pain. The rest of them are not too bad, but that first Pokemon can really mess you up if you are not, if you're not careful. So what I'm going to do is save again because reasons. I've already got quite a few potions. So here we go. Let's fight him.
No.
Here he is. Yeah, I called him that. I don't care. I mean, wait, no, I didn't call him that. Some really immature, stupid person stepped in and called him that while I wasn't looking. I would never do such a thing. Also, it's pronounced Dumas. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's totally PG. Now, here's the annoying thing, is this Pidgeotto, because I did mention the first time we did this, Sand Attack in this game is absolutely ridiculous. One application of Sand Attack against your opponent, and their accuracy drops to 66%. Right off the bat. Which is absolutely horrible to deal with, as you can imagine.
Yep. To be fair, all the accuracy nonsense seem to...
Oh, there's a lot more accuracy nonsense in this game, believe me. And it's not just the Gen 1 miss or Sand Attack.
Yeah,
you haven't seen the worst of this
I heard of
yet.
the X accuracy thing.
Yep, spoiler alert, X accuracy in this game is absolutely insane. And you're going to see that fairly... Well, you won't see it anytime soon, because we're not going to get X accuracy anytime soon, or be able to use it in any meaningful way anytime soon. Luckily, this Pidgeotto is not using Sand Attack on me. I don't think this is going to be enough to KO. Not quite. There we go. Right, so the worst part of this fight has already been dealt with. Now he's going to use Abra on me, because he's so good. Good thing about Abra is this is basically a free potion. And yeah, because for some reason he thought that, you know, we're not going to teach Abra any moves, I'm just going to spam teleport. This guy's so good.
They actually did that?
Yeah, they just give him an Abra with teleport. He has no other moves. It's literally just fodder. It's there to get knocked out. Here's Rattata. I'm going to switch over to Zubat again.
Top percentage!
Yep, here we are. Top percentage of Rattata. To be fair, Rattata's not even that bad in this.
It's interesting how originally it seemed that the plan was to have normal types be sort of... they're not going to get stabbed, but they're going to get every elemental move under the sun.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it kind of works in their favour due to the fact that they have so much versatility that it's... there's that crit again.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nifty, and then they kind of ditched it over time, which makes sense because, you know, type split and everything.
Yeah, so this is why I taught Nidoking Water Gun. It doesn't actually... I don't think
it,
yeah, it won't one-hit KO it, but... Because Water Gun's terrible, but... It's just clean 2-hit KO, and Charmander really can't do anything back to Nidoking, so yeah, done. Yeah, we kind of got lucky there because Pidgeotto never used Sand Attack once. If he had, that would have made it a little bit more annoying to deal with, but there you go.
Oh, yeah.
And that is probably one of the hardest fights in the game out of the way now. Yeah, this early on.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
Oh, once you get past a certain point in... I mean, it probably applies to most Pokemon games, but especially in this one, once you get past a certain point, you've pretty much automatically won the game. Unless you've just been really, really struggling to get that far, in which case you're probably still going to lose, but, you know, that's down to your incompetence rather than anything the game has done. And let's be honest, there's a lot of incompetent people that played this game because they're all kids. And no, that's not an excuse. You were still terrible. It's just how it is. So now we're going to go to Nugget Bridge, which also happens to be the name of a VGC-related website. I've not been to in years because VGC is now completely pointless and terrible. I probably shouldn't say that live, really. But, you know.
I mean, where's the lie?
It's, I mean, as someone who used to play competitive Pokemon and in VGC quite a lot, or at least when I could, I know a lot of people flew abroad and played there, but I honestly I did not have time for that. You know, I had a job, I had, you know, other commitments at the time, so I was not able to.
Yeah, you know, I mean, to be fair,
So it is,
these
man.
days it's literally the same 3 teams. The only
3?
difference is the type of Tapu they are using.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, VGC's not particularly interesting now, I'll be honest. Which is a shame.
It is a shame because there were some really cool previous years.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not even going to mention the legendary Sejun Park Pachirisu.
Yeah, Sejun Park
I was
World Champion
thinking more
Pachirisu.
Yeah, I was thinking more about. I can never remember his name, but he always did really crazy things just for the sake of doing.
Wolf
crazy
Glick.
things. Yes, exactly. The
he-
Executor dude.
Yeah, he actually won Worlds using a fairly standardised team once he realised that the crazy stuff wasn't really working for him. But at least he tried. A lot of people
The
don't.
Harvest Executor thing was just great.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, shouts to Wolf Glick. I hope he's still playing and still winning. As I say, he ain't going to be watching this, but... Unless he is and he just suddenly pops up in chat, that'd be scary as hell. But... So yeah, Nugget Bridge is fairly standard, there's not really much to say about it. You're just beating up these people because they suck. Pidgey's still going to be a pain because he's still got Sand Attack, which luckily he's not using.
Still think it's a shame that the third trainer on this bridge doesn't make a joke about showing you the power of being third.
Yeah, although
I
would.
It would probably be lost in half the player base, but
Yeah, if
there
all of them claimed to be the third strongest trainer on the bridge, I would have loved that.
oh god, yes.
Isn't there something that does that?
It's in Earthbound.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a dungeon in Earthbound where there are 5, as far as I remember, there were 5 mole things that were called Guardian Diggers, and basically each one of them claims to be the third strongest, and that he will show you the power of being third. And it's
I
hilarious.
see.
I
Literally
actually
all
thought
of them will say that. Every single one of them claims to be the third
Yep.
strongest.
Yep. Actually, their specific battle background has number 3 written on it specifically.
It's pretty great.
It
I'm
is.
kind of disappointed that they didn't use that kind of humor in this.
I mean, yeah, especially considering the fact there is a lot of overlap between the developers. I know that there are some people who were. I think that HAL Laboratories or Ape Incorporated or whatever were one of the bases for Creatures Inc., which is part of the 3 big companies that are involved in the development of Pokemon, or were at least. It's basically, it used to be Nintendo, Creatures Inc., and Game Freak. I guess at some point they kind of blended things, reorganized things, and now you have, the Pokemon Company, quote unquote, doing a lot of things. But
Yeah.
I think that one of them was absorbed into the other, something like that. It was weird. But yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of overlap between Pokemon and Earthbound in some particular capacity, so I always kind of expected a bit more crossover, I guess. But well. I actually made a reference to that third strongest thing in, obviously I've never made it into a game, probably never will, but
Oh crap.
one of my one of the gym leaders in Miyato has a general theme of rock grounded steel types. It's kind of mineral themed rather than typed, and her entire gym is this sort of labyrinthine system of caves, and there's obviously random trainers in there, and one of them has a team of entirely mole Pokemon and claims to be the third strongest trainer in this place.
I like that.
Yeah. I sort of
Really?
my
Double
first-
crit on Rap? Get out.
Yeah. Basically, my sort of kind of, if I actually made this into a game, I think maybe time to be like have a few obscure references, but not make everything a meme, which is a problem you see in a lot of fan games, by the way. A lot of fan game developers just kind of throw in memes everywhere, and
It's because they're not creative enough to make their own jokes.
Yeah.
They're too busy being jokes rather than actually making them.
I think it's such a difficult line to straddle, because it's fine to make references and use memes and whatever, but you've got to be so careful not to overuse them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very fine line.
And yeah, there was a problem with Uranium, and I think Insurgents also had a tendency, but I'm not entirely certain. I've not played a whole lot of.
I think the only way to really
kind of
completely get away with it is what they did like in Pokemon Clover, where the whole game was literally just memes.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Clover is just a bunch of edgy 4chaners being edgy 4chaners, so...
Pretty much, but I'd rather play that than some of the, like, oh, it's Pokemon, but with a dark and gloomy backstory. It's like, yeah, wow, you're creative.
I still want to find out who was responsible for, what was it called? Pokemon Reborn or Earth or whatever. And just ask them, what in the name of absolute Zarquon were you snorting?
See, that's one thing that bugs me about like these people that write these kinds of things is they think that writing something that's dark and edgy makes you a good writer. It's like, well, actually, no, it doesn't. It makes you a cliche.
Pretty much. I mean, especially. Apparently, the thing with Reborn was that a lot of the side characters were like the writers were like the writers' RP characters, and they were kind of all awful. I don't know. Most of my issue with Reborn is less, incredibly cliche and stupid. Oh, look, the exploding terrorism train bombs and Pokemon that mutate into health machine things. I don't know if it was something really stupid going on there. But my issue was more the fact that they were basically trying to be like, oh, look, we're making the game so hard. And the way they did it was by doing really stupid shit. I mean, yes, I know swear jar at this particular point.
I've pretty much abused the swear jar to hell and back at this point, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But, basically, it's like one thing they did made all the gym leaders have, metagame-esque strategies for their Pokemon, which is like, okay, fine, sure. This would be a lot less irritating if the game actually allowed you to level up. But for some reason, some brain hero thought it would be a brilliant idea to basically force the Pokemon don't obey you if you don't have a certain number of badges on every Pokemon, not just traded ones, quote unquote.
Yes.
Which is the most obnoxious thing anyone has ever done in a fan game, and I've played Insurgent.
I love it. That's the thing though, is I get the feeling like a lot of these people like, yeah, it's great that, you want to make a fan game and whatever, good on you. But at the same time, a lot of these people don't actually know how to do it well. So you just end up with a ton of just like... And the more people that have access to these sorts of things means the more absolute garbage you're going to end up getting.
To be fair, most of them just kind of start making a thing and then lose interest.
Yeah.
So...
And then you end up with a rush job part of the way through, which, the world could do less
and
of.
And then one or two people actually manage the game and port it, and it gets taken off the internet forever.
Pretty much.
Because Kotaku are serial killers.
Yeah, Kotaku just...
Correction! I think you'll find you've destroyed this game's credibility.
I think they were the ones that did the thing about Riot Games being accused of sexual harassment or sexism in the workplace or whatever.
I don't even remember what Kotaku got their arses involved in. I just know that kind of are really terrible at certain things.
I know that they kind of stealth insulted Hideki Kamiya, and he had quite a thing to say about them back. I will recommend anybody who's a fan of Platinum Games, or even if you're not, do follow Hideki Kamiya on Twitter because he is very funny. At least when you can actually understand what he's saying. He does make quite a few tweets in Japanese, so...
Oh, right. I was trying to remember why that name sounds so incredibly familiar, and I'm like, oh, it's the Clover Platinum dude, right.
Yeah, it's him. There's a lot of things that you can say to him that really annoy him. What am I doing? And yeah, one of the Kotaku dudes made a less than flattering article about him, by basically putting words in his mouth after something that he said. I think he said he wasn't particularly interested in PC gaming, which is fair enough. You know, not everybody is. So some Kotaku guy decided to use that as a way of making some clickbait article about how he's completely ignorant about PC gaming. So then the guy actually had the balls to tweet Hideki Kamiya with the article and asking him if he actually read it. He basically said, did you actually read the article? And Kamiya's response to him was, and I quote, "Do you eat shit?"
That is great.
And that line pretty much became a meme ever since then. And that's the kind of stuff that he does. But it's like, that, yeah, Kotaku does eat shit. Not even going to pretend they don't. Like, I'd say it's fine that I can crap on them while I'm on stream. Like, nobody cares about Kotaku on PokerCharms.com, let's be honest.
At this particular point, I'm not sure anyone cares about them at all.
No, they are like most quote-unquote video games journalists. I hesitate to call them journalists because I wouldn't even call what they do journalism, in all honesty. It's just pushing an agenda.
I don't think it's even pushing an agenda. I don't think they have the strength to push an agenda.
No, well, yeah, they have an agenda and they write things about it. It is kind of alarming though, like just how bad that, or at least how much credibility that whole thing has lost. Like, you'd think that video game journalism would be a pretty big thing and a pretty big service for, you know, for gamers to learn about, like, you know, upcoming news. And now it's treated with such disdain and like look at IGN now.
To be fair, IGN kind of shot itself in the foot so many times at this point that...
But they've been terrible for years, let's be honest here.
Yes, they have. They certainly have.
Like, their reviews are, like, here's the thing. I know some people might argue that some of their reviews are trolling. Like, they give games, like, stupid reviews for stupid reasons on purpose to get a reaction out of people and to draw more attention to themselves. The problem with that is this. When you've got that reputation for being a troll, nobody's going to take you seriously anymore.
Yep.
Like, now you're just the people who just troll and take the piss. So now nobody's going to pay any attention whatsoever to your reviews because they know that they're taking the piss. On the flip side, if they are being serious and this is how they genuinely feel, then their views on games, and yeah, I understand it's an opinion, it's not anything factual, but at the same time you can back up an opinion with facts. The stuff they try to back up their opinions with is so objectively incorrect that they just come off sounding stupid. The most notable of which, going back to Pokemon, for me, was Pokken Tournament. Pokken Tournament is one of the only fighting games that I've seen that actually tells you what its advanced techniques are. Which is pretty awesome, to be honest with you, because it'd be good to know those things when you're learning how to play the game, as opposed to having to go on the internet and find out what the competitive people are doing. Like, I mean, I understand in stuff like in Melee, where like they didn't intend for wave dashing to be there, so of course they're not going to tell you how to do it. But when you've got stuff like being able to cancel like the charge attack in Street Fighter and stuff like that, or in Fighter Z, the fact that you can do another jump mid-air combo, which allows you to extend the combo, it doesn't tell you that. Pokken Tournament tells you literally everything that you can do, which is great. So what do these morons at IGN do? They say they mark it down due to quote-unquote overwhelming mechanics. And I'm going to violate the swear jar again, I don't care. Get the fuck out of here.
Fighting games, by their very nature, have fairly kind of robust learning curve, I think.
Exactly. They do.
But to be honest, like, in terms of... If you're following the... what do you call it? Basically, if you button mash in Pokken, you can do pretty well, you know. And it's pretty easy to transition from button mashing to realizing, oh, if you do this, this happens, and it's all that. So, you know, there's very little in the way of kind of arcane techniques when it comes to just playing the game sort of simply. yeah, there's an awful lot you can get into. If you play at an extremely high level, there's a lot of techniques you can learn. But I don't know any of them. And I've played hours and hours and hours of the game, and I'm having, perfectly enjoying myself perfectly well, and I'm relatively good at it.
I mean, to be fair, there isn't really any advanced techniques in Pokken Tournament beyond what it already tells you.
Yeah, but it does let you learn them if you want to.
Yeah.
Because it's got that ability. It's all got all the tutorials. It's got the guides.
Yeah.
It's got
it
all the
doesn't
lists.
hide anything from you. Is the point?
No, and I think that's a good thing.
To play this game.
See, I wouldn't even say it's dismissed because it's Pokemon. Honestly, I think
It's
a lot of
dismissed because they don't want it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is marketing. They don't bring enough attention to it, really. I feel like if they bothered to market it and say, yeah, hey, look, we've got this awesome fighting game, people would pay more attention to it, I think. I think the fact that it's Pokemon, I don't think people judge it negatively.
I mean, to be fair,
based on that.
Look no further than Fighter Z. You could argue that it would be dismissed for the same reasons that, a quote-unquote Pokemon fighting game is dismissed. But no, Fighter Z is actually really, really, really taking off.
I think it was actually the most successful game in EVO this year.
It was.
And the marketing people are doing a great job with it.
Yeah. Well, they've got the social stuff there. Pokken its issue is that it's sort of stuck between two worlds, really. When it first came out, it was on Wii U, and, well, it was on Wii U, so no one really played it because no one really owned a Wii U, and those that did own a Wii U knew that playing a fighting game with the Wii U gamepad was a terrible idea and should never be done.
Right, there is a trainer here that I don't want to fight, so I will reset the game if I end up fighting him by accident. He has a Slowpoke, and we need that Slowpoke to perform a glitch later on.
The Mew thing, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it's one of these two dudes at the top, so I'm going to do the safe option and ignore them both.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, just to finish off what I was saying. When Pokken got ported, which was absolutely the right thing to do, obviously it was kind of ignored for being a port. They really, it probably would have benefited them to be a little bit cheeky and stick a 2 on the end.
Yeah.
Put in a load of new Pokemon and a load of new stages and maybe a new story mode or something. And just put it out as Pokken 2. Same engine, same fighting, same everything.
Yeah.
And then I think at that point it would have gotten a lot more attention because they could have said, hey, it's a new game, it's the second Pokken game.
Yeah.
And all that. I hope they still do. I hope it gets a sequel.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome, but you have to kind of keep in mind that because of the way they've handled it so stupidly and the way they're not really putting any attention to it, it might not have done well enough sales-wise to warrant a sequel.
Well, it won't have now because they've screwed it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's at Worlds.
It's at Worlds, and they kind of hid it in a back room.
Yeah, and it was a full-blown contender at EVO for a couple of years, and then it's still doing a side tournament now. There is still, it's a relatively small community, but it's still a fairly active community around it.
Yeah. It's just a shame because that community could have been a lot larger if they'd actually taken the time to promote it.
Yeah, and I feel like they really do need to just, take their medicine a little bit, make a second game. Kind of really don't change anything drastically because Pokken is really good as is.
Yeah.
But just make it bigger, expand it and give us more fighters, more stages, maybe a couple more mechanics to kind of balance it out a little bit. I don't even know if it needs that, honestly.
I don't think it does.
I think they kind of wanted to attempt to do the EA thing and write on downloadable content for a while, but I don't know how well it's going to fly for them, so...
Well, the thing is like for downloadable content to work in a game, there's got to be enough base interest in the game as it is now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And right now, there really isn't.
Well, it's like, I know Alex was saying last week, Pokken, what they should really do is do the Killer Instinct model, where it's free to play, but you buy basically season passes or packs of content.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, potentially.
That sounds like League of Legends to me, though, which is
very, very successful.
Well, it was
somehow.
Yeah, well, it still is. I mean,
still is. It's. I mean, a lot of people are going to say this. It's not dying, but I think the best way somebody described it today is it's not dying. It's bleeding, and it is
Yeah.
because the company that made the game, their decisions are finally, after all these years, biting them in the arse because they suck, and they've sucked for years. But you know,
I mean, every game like it works on the same principle, really. You know, you look at Dota 2,
yeah,
it's the same
at this
thing.
point, how many horrible mimics are there?
well, it's a genre, so it's. But the point is,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even remember the last time I even heard anybody talk about Dota 2. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that game.
It's still got that $24 million international, hasn't it?
Still
So-
waiting. I am still waiting for Japan to sue the pants off of Dota 2 just for the Lina inverse thing.
They probably won't because they probably don't even realise it's there.
Yeah.
They should.
They should, but they probably don't. I mean, that just shows how interesting Dota 2 is.
I mean,
I do find it
remember
funny
what-
though when you find the people that are arguing, oh, League of Legends and Dota 2, which one's better? It's like they're both piles of crap. So have fun comparing your piles of crap.
Essentially.
Yeah, they're both kind of spins on the same genre. So
And they're both
not-
terrible. So there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, you can't really pick one or the other. It's more of a personal choice thing.
Yeah.
If anything at
Pretty
all.
much, yeah.
But,
What pile of manure do you prefer? Horse or cow? Pick one.
just to address a point from the chat quickly, they're really not pushing ARMS hard at all. Like, they're really not. ARMS has not done anywhere near as well as Nintendo wanted it to.
I wonder why.
Probably because it's stupid as hell.
I mean, it's really fun. I've got it. I love it. You know, it's a great game. But I think it failed to get a hold in the FGC community, the fighting game community, which is where it needed to, really. And I think people kind of didn't. It didn't have a longevity to kind of exist on its own.
The thing is, though, with that is, ARMS is kind of different, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
That's why it
it's-
didn't catch on.
I think it's because it's one of those gimmicks that didn't really improve anything.
Yeah.
It was a great idea. Like, it's basically just an over-the-shoulder fighter with optional kind of motion control.
Bring the FGC, they don't care about gimmicks. They just want a straight fighting game. They want, that's why Street Fighter has been there and done so well for
Yeah.
so long. Super Smash Brothers Melee is still there now. Even
Yeah,
alongside the
fortunately.
current Smash game. These people aren't interested in gimmicks and new stuff. They like the basics. They like the classic stuff. If they wanted to make a game that's successful with the FGC, they should have just kept it. Like the classic stuff. Don't start messing
they've
around.
already-
Basic stuff, basic beeps.
Pretty much, yeah. Keep it basic. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I think they just needed the gimmick to work, honestly. Like, it never would have penetrated the FGC.
You're never going to penetrate the FGC with a gimmick anyway. So
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
exactly.
so. But it needed to be something that was going to keep people coming back for the party element of it. And
yeah.
I don't necessarily know if they've succeeded there. Like, it's fun, but it's not massively compelling, if you know what I mean.
that's why Dragon Ball Fighters did as well as it did. It's like it's a anime themed game, like for Dragon Ball, but underneath it is is your bog standard competitive fighting game. It's got all the tools that it needs.
standard.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Well, it's more than
say
bog
what you
standard,
want
but,
about
it's-
Arc system works, but they kind of know what they're doing in that sense because they've been doing it for years. Granted, they have been doing pretty terrible stuff at some particular point. I still kind of want to find out who's responsible for Guilty Gear XRD and punch them in the face with a Buick. Because what is that shite?
They have, however,
But-
been taking the same the same engine, as it were, and polishing it for all this time. And so it's kind of worked out quite well that, Fighters is what's really sparked it to be really, really popular.
I think
Yeah,
having Dragon
that
Ball
is
as obviously having the Dragon Ball name behind it has definitely helped a great deal.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it is a solid game beneath all the Dragon Ball.
It is.
It is very much so.
Well, I think the nice thing about it is that it takes the license and benefits from it rather than kind of.
Trying to
It's not
avoid
just.
it.
It's
Yeah,
not shoehorned, yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's not a crutch.
Yeah.
It's not a kind of here's Dragon Ball, so therefore we have to ram in this gimmick because we feel like we need to. Everything that they've added from Dragon Ball feels like it works.
Yeah.
And it helps that it is absolutely gorgeous.
It does look great.
Yeah,
It's-
it is a good looking game as far as as great as you can get with Akira Toriyama's
It's very authentic, which I'm not
Yes,
sure is a
exactly.
compliment. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously, seriously though, it is managed to achieve the feat that I think quite a lot of games have been trying to do for years, which is taking a 3D engine and rendering it in a way that looks like anime. It looks like 2D, digital anime.
That's actually one of the really weird things. Usually, I have this particular, shall I say, sensitivity, so to speak,
Yeah.
in which I can instantly see if something in a 2D thing was done with CGI with, like, cell shaders and whatever.
Yeah.
And it usually gives me a massive flipping headache.
Mhm.
I still can't play Dragon Quest VIII, for example, because they tried doing that. They tried doing the cell shaded thing on a 3D thing, but it was like, a weird half breed. And it's
Yeah.
kind of awful. And it just gives me a headache. The cognitive dissonance hurts my brain. And I did not see that in Fighter Z. It seems to sort of have this kind of its own, I don't even know kind of how his words today, but the point of the matter is it doesn't give me that particular headache, which is impressive, to be perfectly honest.
It reminds me of a friend of mine who, she likes shooters, but she can't play most of them because she suffers from motion sickness. And
Yeah.
quite a lot of first-person shooters, when you move, the camera bops up and down with your steps.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why she really likes Destiny, because it's one of the few that doesn't do that.
Yeah, some of them let you turn it off, but not enough.
Yeah. But Destiny's just not there at all. Which, knowing Bungie, it's probably because they implemented it and did it wrong, so it just doesn't work properly.
It's actually a bug.
Yeah, it's a bug. It's meant to be there, but it just doesn't work.
Speaking of bugs, I really do think that they should have spliced Bill with a bug-type Pokemon, because this entire section is a Jeff Goldblum reference, so might as well.
He's just like some giant sort of mantis man or something.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a fly Pokemon back then, so I guess they could have done something just for the...
It's like half
sheer,
Scyther, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but it would be a bit too awesome for Bill.
Or, actually, no, I'll take that back. Have him half Pincers, you've just got Pincers' giant things sticking out of his head.
Oh, God.
To be fair, if I had that, I'd keep him. I'd be like, dude. So I can pick things up in my head. Yeah, I'm going to... Off screen, I'm going to check which of those two trainers that I skipped is the one I actually need to keep around. Just to explain, you'll notice there was actually a third trainer that I skipped as well, who's the one just to the left of the Nugget Bridge. There is a reason for that, and that's for a glitch called Trainer Fly, which does require me to get an Abra, which I'm not going to get yet. To explain that in so many words, it goes by the another name known as the Mew glitch, which you may have heard of. We'll be doing that a little bit later. I will explain how it works once we actually come to do it, but for now, we're going to go beat the lead cultist of this town. Everyone's favourite redhead. Normally I like redheads, but for you, Misty, I'll make an exception.
Yeah, Misty's kind of... I mean,
I say that. She's not an inherently bad character by herself, to be honest with you.
It's mostly a combination of A, the anime, B, Generation 2, and 3, way the internet would not shut up about her, especially a
to
certain
me,
subset
the fans ruined her, basically.
Yes, exactly.
By not shutting up about her. It's like, yeah, she was alright. Even though she was just every tsundere known to man.
Yeah,
And
in the anime, they
feel slightly
just
ill saying that word.
dialed up her tsundere to, like, ridiculous levels. In the game, she's just there. And then in
Word.
Generation 2, she's
Excuse me.
a complete and utter, inexcusable female Growlithe.
Yeah, pretty much. To apologise there, I threw up my mouth a little bit saying that word. Is there not an English version of that? Yeah, there is actually an English version of that word. Bitch!
So much for the swear jar.
Oh, come on, we knew it was gonna... okay, no, female dog there, happy?
Yeah.
But that's too complicated to say, so I'm just gonna say bitch. Just all-round, generally horrible person. In this game, to be fair, she's just there, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not. It wasn't. It was only the anime that kind of gave her the bitch personality, and then was just like, yeah, okay.
There weren't that many characters with an actual personality in this game, really. Most of the gym leaders didn't have one.
No, they didn't. They were just kind of there.
To be fair, I mean, a lot of the gym leaders that I actually...
I think your rival is like the only person who actually has a personality in this game.
More or less, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's Agatha, who was kind of...
Hung up on Professor Oak.
Just a bit.
Yeah, I think they have kind of anecdotes, I suppose. Like there's just enough character that they have that they can have a few lines of text.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you do get to see that a lot. People like Lieutenant Surge and Blaine.
Mm.
A lot of Blaine's awesomeness is sort of inferred and kind of referred to in passing. Blaine is definitely my favorite gym leader in this generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, most of the characters are just kind of there. I'm not really sure when they actually start trying to have characters with actual personality in them in this series, rather than, flat cartoon characters. And,
Memes.
basically, I mean, as dumb as that sounds, I think the only time they've actually really tried might have been Gen 5.
Yeah, and then they decided to make Gen 6 a throwback to Generation 1, where nobody had a personality whatsoever.
Pretty much.
I was actually talking about Gen 6 to her because Kate was playing through Gen 6, and she just beat the game. And we were talking about, and I will say this now, I give a lot of crap to Generation 4 and Sinnoh and how horrible it is. The post-game chapter of Generation 6, X and Y, with Looker, is the worst part of any Pokemon main series game I've ever played by a mile. That whole thing is complete garbage, and I would rather play Daikatana than go through that.
Be careful with what you wish for. That might actually include Daikatana as the post-game content for Generation 8.
Bring it on! After that whole thing with Looker, I'll take that. You know what? Bring it on. Let's have Daikatana back. Come on, guys. You can't get. You can only get better from here.
And a half.
No, seriously though, that whole thing with Looker was just complete trash. Like, I mean, Gen 6 was bad enough as it was, but after that, I was just like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Oh god.
Right, so we're fighting Misty now. I should probably actually pay attention to what I'm doing. She's not too difficult, to be honest. Just see if Batista can beat Staryu. This Staryu's actually beating me down quite a bit. Yeah, I think he's beaten me. Oh no! Ha! Misty's dumb. She just kept using water gun, she would have beat me. Yeah, because Zubat will just die if I leave it in. So yeah, Starmie's kind of ridiculously strong for the point in the game that you fight it in.
Oh yeah.
To
be fair, Starmie is a complete monster. I love that thing.
So I can kind of understand why people probably found Misty a little bit challenging to beat back in the day. Because her Starmie stats are just completely bloated compared to anything that you'll have this. But even Nidoking, it's not really helped that Nidoking's weak to Starmie anyway. But overall, stat-wise, Starmie still has Nidoking beat overall. Like in speed and special attack, it's got you beat. So it's pretty brutal for them to put this thing at this part of the game that they actually make you fight it at. But as you can see, Misty's pretty terrible, so we can just use Vine Whip and beat her. Done. And now we can use Cup. Whoop-de-doo, eh? And now we've got her favourite TM, which is Bubble Beam, which is actually useful. So, unlike Brock, who gave us Bide, which is good for absolutely nothing other than wasting bag space. Still got that other thing there. I've still got quite a few TMs in here, actually, which probably ought to consider using. It is a bit annoying that it doesn't actually tell you what the TM is until you use it, but for now, that's fine because... we will be getting rid of Water Gun. So there we go. Probably call it a night now, to be fair, because we have had our 2-hour allotment completed, and that's being Misty's pretty much a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
It does seem like it.
So next time we will be venturing off into Vermilion City. I'm not sure if there's any notable glitches in Vermilion City. We fight Lieutenant Surge and just win because he can't really do anything to Nidoking. Yeah, spoiler alert, we're probably not going to have too much difficulty with that fight. And the SSAM, which the SSAM does have some glitches associated with it, but not at this point in the game, so we will be looking at that. But yeah, I think it's going to be more of the same. Next week it's going to be me violating the swear jar, doing things in the game, and general discussion about Pokemon and life in general. So I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Cole, and guys, any time now?
Oh, sorry, you cut out.
Yeah.
I've been Teapot.
I'm Stella Windlesidian. I still am Stella Windlesidian, and I will be Stella Windlesidian next time you hear about me either.
Pretty much. So that's us signing out. Catch you in a bit.
Yep.
Later.
Later.